Hey, from Macomb City Hall, this is Macomb Mayor Mike Inman, bringing you the most recent information we have regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and some other related information. It is the 22nd day of January 2021. The most recent information we have from the McDonough County Health Department regarding the statistics, case statistics, are from late yesterday afternoon, and they're indicating that they had a total of 11 new cases yesterday, but that was offset by 9 newly recovered cases, and they're currently tracking in the mid-60s number of active cases in the county. They are reporting no additional deaths. We're grateful for that. But we also understand that there's other information we want to share with you too, and we're going to do that now. First and foremost, we want to report that we've had meetings with our partners, including the health department, the hospital, and everyone else. And I want to assure the public that the health department is in fact in the very final stages of solidifying a plan for vaccination and moving to the next phase of vaccination. I'm convinced of that. I'm confident that they have a plan that they're just minor tweaks and ready to roll out. And I would encourage you, and myself for that matter, to be patient. They're very focused on moving in the right direction. And when that plan is ready, and it will be soon, they will distribute that and make it widely known. There's no reason right now to kind of make outreach to the health department. They're aware that people are concerned, anxious, want to move forward. They understand that, and I'm assured that they have a plan that is about ready to be rolled out. So again, patience, and when that plan is ready, and it will be soon, they will make it very widely known, and the whole process will be laid out about how folks, particularly the 65 and older category, will be able to avail themselves of getting in the queue for vaccination. And to try to help put some of that in perspective, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, we've got roughly 5,100 people who are in 65 years of age or older in McDonough County. So that in and of itself indicates that that number is pretty sizable, not unmanageable, but pretty sizable. So under the most ideal conditions and a most robust plan, it is going to take several weeks for everybody, maybe several long weeks, for everybody in that category to get vaccinated. So again, I'm confident that we're moving in the right direction with our county partners, and that we should be hearing some definitive plans very, very soon. I also want to tell you that part of our overall strategy here, what the CDC, the federal government, state government, local government, is a combination of factors to deal with COVID, and we've talked about this in the past about it's several legs of the chair that need to be in place, and we continue to build those legs out. First and foremost, we've talked about from the very onset of the pandemic about how we can take personal responsibility and wear a mask, social distance and wash your hands. Primary, none of that's changing in the near future. There's one leg of the stool. And then we've been consistently ramping up both at the local level, state level, and national level, the ability to test and test in numbers. The very best way to get an idea of how prevalent the virus is in any community is widespread testing. And we're there now. Matter of fact, in addition to the ongoing testing that's available at the McDonough District Hospital drive-through facility, those dates and times are listed at the bottom of your screen now. That continues, and that's still a very robust testing program at MDH's campus. And in addition to that, through CVS by appointment only. But we've had very good participation and very good outreach from the Department of Public Health in having the mobile testing sites set up on the campus of Western Illinois University that are available for everyone in the community. We've had an increasing number of those dates, and I'm here to tell you the most recent dates that are coming up. They're this weekend, starting tomorrow, Saturday the 23rd, Sunday the 24th, and Monday the 25th. So the next 3 days, testing from the Illinois Department of Public Health, their mobile testing site set up in the corner of Q Lot. Plenty of place to stage cars, get through the line and test. They have excellent personnel there. It is very fast, it's very efficient. You do the nasal swabbing with the material and tools that they provide you. You present the sample to them, and they send it off for analysis. And they're saying that you're going to get the test results somewhere between 4 to 7 days, but my experience has been it's 1 or 2 days at the most. And again, that's not a promise. I have to tell you that they're promising 4 to 7, but it's been much more quickly than that. And again, you don't have to have any symptoms, don't have to suspect that you were exposed to COVID. The idea is if we get a broad enough spectrum of people participating, number, volume, that our overall positivity rating should come down. I just need to be candid with you here. Early on in the pandemic, our positivity rating was high because most of the people testing either already had symptoms or were exposed, and the high probability that they were going to be positive was assumed from the very beginning. What we would report to you today that we're 3.2% positivity in McDonough County. That's a very low number. Don't take that the wrong way. The virus is still in the area. We can't let down our guard. I'm not suggesting that. But that gives us an accurate representation, and that number is going to play into some additional information I give you here in just a minute. But again, Saturday the 23rd, Sunday the 24th, and Monday the 25th, Tanner Hall Circle, located on the campus of Western Oregon University in Q Lot, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and anyone in line by 4 p.m. will be tested. And again, it's a simple nasal swab, and you'll be called with the results in 4 to 7 days. There is no cost for the testing. If you have insurance, you can bring a card. They may ask for it. It's not necessary, absolutely not necessary, and you absolutely do not have to be symptomatic or think you've been exposed. We would just encourage you to take 10, 15 minutes out of your day over the next 3 days and go get tested. I'll be out there. I won't be helping. You don't have to worry. I won't be getting in your business, but I'll be submitting to the testing because I think it's that important. And I would encourage you and any members of your family to go and be tested. And if you're positive, we'll deal with it. But in an overall perspective, it will give us a true idea of how prevalent the disease is here in our area. Speaking of that, we're currently under the Tier 1 mitigation protocols under the Destroy Illinois plan set out by Governor Pritzker, which allows for some limited indoor dining. We are this close to being relieved of any mitigation and going back to phase 4, which increases the number of activities and events and everything, gets us, that much closer to what we would like to be at. But still being aware of the virus being in the area. In order for us to move from Tier 1 to no mitigation and be in phase 4 by itself, we need 3 days of consecutive 6.5% positivity or less. And you're going to say, well, Mayor, you just said we're at 3 point something here in McDonough County. This is our region of the state needs to be at that level. And our region of the state includes everything here, all the way to the east border with Indiana and north and along Interstate 80. And there are a couple of counties, and part of me is reluctant to even name them. It's not us, but there are a couple of counties in our region that still have double-digit positivity ratings. And by looking over that data, which you can do by going to the Illinois Department of Public Health website, that link to that is being posted on your screen right now. You can see which counties they are. They're not anywhere near us, but they're in our region. And you can see, and if you look closer, you'll see they're testing very few people in those counties relative to the population in those counties, and they have a near double-digit positivity rating. And unfortunately, that's impacting us because until we can get down as a region to 6.5 or less, we're still going to be held to these Tier 1 mitigations. It's very frustrating to me as a local community leader because I know how many of our businesses are anxious to get back to operating where they can not only do what they love to do, but get back into a business that they need to be running and our economy needs to have them running. We are at 6.7% today. We were at 6.6 yesterday. And it's not us here in McDonough County that's keeping that number there. I'm going to be honest with you. It's those other counties that are in our region. We can sit here and debate all day long whether the system's good or bad. Right now, we need to encourage those folks up in those northern counties to get tested And I would, and again, encourage us to get tested here, because if we get a high enough volume, we could have an impact on those results in our region. We're, again, this close to being at 6.5 or less. We just need 3 consecutive days. I hoped it would. I'd been watching the numbers very carefully and hoped that we'd be there sometime this weekend. It doesn't look like that is likely going to happen, and that's very frustrating to me, and I can only imagine how frustrating it is to our business people who are being impacted negatively by this continued mitigation. We've got to do it. It's a concern. Again, it's just terribly frustrating that there are certain areas in our state that can't see how they're impacted. There's a couple other counties that are close to double digits, and again, you can go onto the website and see, and you can kind of understand where they have been in this whole process, and you can draw your own inferences and conclusions there. But at the end of the day, we're hopeful that that's going to come sooner than later, that we can be relieved of those mitigations that have been put in place by the Department of Public Health and Governor Pritzker. A couple other things we want to share with you. We'd still encourage you. There's a high number of folks, 2,000 or so people in McDonough County that have recovered from COVID. We'd again ask you to look at the possibility of it being a donor for convalescent plasma therapy for folks that are still hospitalized in certain parts of our region dealing with COVID. We have some folks here in City Hall that are recovered and are trying to get involved in that plan. So we would encourage you, if you're one of those folks that have recovered from COVID, to check that out. And that's through the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center. That information is on the bottom of your screen now. Again, be your way of making something very positive happen potentially out of something that likely was very negative for you dealing with the virus yourself. So a couple other things. We're expecting some significant snowfall, probably the most significant snowfall we've had to date this winter, coming up starting late Sunday, early Monday. So the city has went ahead and issued a public service announcement. We'll give you the link to that here, declaring a snow emergency starting at 5 a.m. Monday. And you're saying, well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, the forecast is somewhere between 3 and 8 inches of snow for the city starting Monday and continuing through the day. And I would remind you that under city ordinances, that snowfall exceeding 3 inches automatically constitutes a snow emergency. And you're saying, well, what does that mean? It means that on designated streets that are designated as snow routes, you're not be allowed to park there so that our public works crews can plow those curb to curb and not be obstructed with vehicles parked there. So you can check the city's website or this link, then it will tell you what streets. I have a list here, but I'm not going to expect you to hear all of them and not say, well, what did he say? But check the city's website. It will be a list of, and those streets are, those areas are posted with designated snow route signs. Probably 99% of the time you never even see that they're there. They kind of blend into the signage on city streets already, but they are posted. But if you have any questions as to whether does that affect me or not, do I need to move my car or not, please check the city's website and those will be listed for you. Again, that takes effect at 5 a.m. this coming Monday, the 25th of January. And as we reported last week, all the schools in the county are back to some form of in-person attendance or another, whether it's all-in or hybrid. And of course, if you're a parent of a student or a grandparent, you know how that likely is something that's very much of a relief to you, that your students are back in a school setting, if not all the time, at least part of the time. And I think we'd all agree that's obviously the best plan for learning and still being cognizant of trying to deal with the pandemic at the same time. So again, I would encourage you that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to have to get through a little snow at the end of the tunnel this weekend, starting next week. But as far as COVID, we are headed in the right direction. We've got several of the legs of the chair in place. Some of them are being built very quickly, and they'll be in place too. So again, if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them here at City Hall the best we can. And please feel free. There'll be numbers, as usual, posted at the end of the video for contacts within City Hall. Would again remind you that all those local business incentive programs, all those dollars have have or will be in the next week dispersed to those local businesses. Up over 50 businesses that were impacted in a positive way here in the last couple of weeks, with $400,000+ of grant money. That's grant money, not loans, being directly infused. And then we've had some good success with other businesses throughout the last couple of maybe 4 to 6 weeks in getting other federal and state dollars into their hands to offset the negative effects of the pandemic. Still got work to do there, and we'll continue to advocate at the state and federal level for additional funds to support the economic recovery here in Macomb, and be assured of that we continue to have those discussions with our state and federal partners in the General Assembly and in Congress. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any number of the offices here in City Hall, and we'll do our best to get information to you. So until we have an opportunity to meet again, thank you.